Aitah, because when I overheard my mom telling my adopted sister, "We chose you," I started wondering if I was only loved out of biology, snapped, and yelled that I didn't feel like part of the family. And now everyone thinks I owe my sister an apology. Posted by you Pixie Dust 216. I 15F, and I have an older sister, Leela 17F. Recently, I found out that Leela was adopted before I was born. My mother was considered infertile. I was a one in a million miracle baby that defied the odds, so she and my father adopted Leela. Throughout my life, they've been pretty good parents. They love us both, and they've never treated Leela and me any differently. But then Leela discovered she was adopted, and no, they didn't tell either of us. After some initial, "Why didn't you tell me?" and identity issues, Leela seemed fine. I don't know if she was, but she seemed normal. She was at first angry at them for keeping it a secret, but eventually cooled off. But for the past 4 months, my parents have been prioritizing Leela. They told me they assure Leela that blood doesn't change family, make up for keeping the fact she was adopted from her, etc. I think they feel guilty. I get wanting to reassure Leela that, blood or not, she is a part of this family, but they have been continuously favoring Leela for these past months. They missed my high school play, instead staying home and serving snacks to Leela and her friends during movie night. On my birthday, they got Leela a freaking car. For my birthday, they've been going on dates with her, serving her favorite meals, getting her little gifts, getting nothing for me, and missing out on my things for Leela. I'm really not trying to sound like a spoiled brat, but I feel like in trying to make Leela feel like she still belongs, they're neglecting me. I don't even think Leela wants it. I mean, what 17-year-old wants to spend loads of time with her parents? It all came boiling out last Monday. There was traffic on my way home from school, so my parents and Leela were eating dinner. They had gotten Chinese from Leela's favorite restaurant and were all eating when I walked in. I overheard my mom telling Leela, "We chose you for our family. I loved you even without birthing you, without hormones telling me to. I feel like that's the most important thing of all." I dunno, but it kind of felt like a dig. It got me thinking, if my mom didn't give birth to me, would she love me any less? If it wasn't me she gave birth to, she won't ever know the difference. She would just love that child because hormones told her to. I blew up. I ran into the room, crying. I told my family, "I guess we're not really family, right? Since you didn't choose me." I then ran into my room. My parents said they were sorry if I thought Leela was being prioritized, but they also said I should apologize to Leela, as they were having an emotional discussion that I interrupted by barging in and yelling. They said I was old enough not to be a spoiled baby. Okay, they didn't exactly say that, but they said I was acting spoiled, hence the title, that I knew this was hard on Leela and I should be nicer. I'm just done. So exhausted and fed up with this all, I've barely spoken to them since Monday. So Aitah, update 1, 4 days later. Alright, I just wanted to clarify one thing. So, when my parents got Leela a car for my 15th birthday, they said it was for both of us. But in my state, 15-year-olds are only allowed to drive with a learner's permit. My parents said they got me a car because it was my 15th birthday. I was gonna get a learner's permit. But I couldn't drive the car until I had a learner's permit. And Leela has a driver's license, and the car was a pickup truck, a style Leela has said she always wanted. So it was pretty clear it was Leela's car. So update Tim. First off, I've been reading all your messages, and thank you so much. I honestly thought the vote would be a little more divided. So Leela and I took a joyride. Rereading my post, I think I was jealous and a little angry at Leela. Which she totally did not deserve, those were just my feelings. But anyway, Leela and I got to talking. Turns out she mentioned wanting to find her birth parents, which is how this whole mess started. My parents flipped, taking Leela wanting to find her birth parents as some kind of attack, instead of simple curiosity. Things are definitely still rocky in my house, but Leela's on my side. We're both searching for her parents, together. Some of you suggested showing this post to my parents. I think I'm gonna show it to my grandmother or my aunt first and get their advice. None of my family uses Reddit, so there's no chance of them coming across this post. I just want my parents back. Update 2. So I am gonna talk to my aunt and grandmother, but first I thought I should update you because some things went down. So Leela confronted our parents. And by confronted, I mean blew up. They both cried. Turns out, she isn't over them never telling her about her adoption and really re-emed into them for that. Should have been obvious, but I guess she just seemed fine to me. She said, "You're so scared of empty nest syndrome that you're gonna end up pushing 2 daughters away. I don't feel like part of the family, with you guys favoring me and acting like I'm gonna run away at first glance." Then she stormed off. Because of this little spat, my dad actually gave me a real apology, not butts or gaslighting. My mom hasn't given me an apology per se, but we've talked about the whole "we chose you hormones didn't make us do it" thing. I'm gonna do what some of you suggested and send this post to them. I'm not gonna cut them out. I'm still only 15, but I do have some form of escape plan. I don't think they're toxic, just humans who made a mistake and now are trying to make for it with other mistakes. Update 3. I talked to my aunt and grandmother and they gave me some advice. My winter break is coming up, so I'm gonna stay with them for that week just to let things cool off. When I told them I was gonna stay at my aunt's, my dad seemed resigned while my mom started crying. She said it felt like she was losing both of her daughters. I suggested family therapy, and it seemed like it was well received. I'll update you guys if they schedule an appointment. For right now, I'm just operating like I'm permanently moving out and seeing what comes from there. Update 4. 2 years 8 months later, I don't think anyone really cares about this, but I recently reread my old post and decided to write a short update. In my last post, I talked about how my parents were kind of narcissistic. Not true, just 15-year-old me experiencing teenage angst and starting her emo phase. Being sometimes self-centered or attention-seeking is completely different from being a narcissist. My experience doesn't even come close to someone who was actually raised under that abuse. It's a late apology, but I'm sorry. Leela and are good. Better now since she actually went away to college, and I realize I like spending time with her when I wasn't forced to be in her proximity. We send each other random memes and text, but we don't see each other that often. She did reconnect with her bio family. My parents and I flew out to meet them, and they were so nice. They gave her up because Leela had some health complications that required surgeries they could not afford. Since she was still in the baby age, they knew it was most likely she'd be adopted right away and could have a life without the complications, which she did. We also got to meet Leela's bio extended family, which was the best part of the trip. So many of them cried upon seeing her walking and kept on thanking my parents. The bio family and ours aren't really close, but it was nice to meet them. I did stay with my aunt for 2 weeks. She was kind, but she also had her own life going on, so I ended up alone a lot. I started journaling, which has done wonders for my mental health. That was the kick in the teeth my parents needed. They looked for therapies, but it took another few months before they found one covered by their insurance. In the meantime, I moved back in and it was bad and good. We argued because I was a kid, still am, but my mom and dad did this thing where they chose one singular spot for each of us where we'd hang out. From mine it was this spa around a half an hour away from my dad, and a small dog park for my mom. We also adopted a dog. Anyway, now I am applying to colleges and life sucks.